Some loves don't end, they just pause. Arav believed that with absolute certainty until life taught him how easily certainty could be replaced by silence. It had been 7 years since he last saw Mira. 7 years since college corridors echoed with their laughter. Since coffee cups grew cold as they talked about dreams bigger than their pockets. Since promises were whispered under the false bravery of youth. Back then, love felt indestructible, not because they were naive, but because they believed effort could defeat time. They were wrong. Life separated them the way it separates most people, quietly, gradually, without asking permission. Careers demanded choices. Families demanded sacrifice. Distance stretched conversations thinner until even memories felt heavy to carry. Arav moved to another city. Mira stayed behind. Calls turned into texts, texts into birthdays, birthdays into nothing. And yet, somewhere deep inside, neither truly forgot. The reunion happened on an ordinary evening, disguised as coincidence. Arav had returned to his hometown for a business conference. The city looked smaller than he remembered, as if it had aged faster than him. After a long day, he walked into a quiet bookstore cafe, one of those places where time slows down out of respect for nostalgia. And that's when he saw her. Mira stood near the poetry section, holding a book the same way she always did, pressed against her chest, like words needed protection. Her hair was shorter now, her smile softer, her presence calmer. But the energy was unmistakable. She turned. Their eyes met. For a moment, the world forgot how to move. No dramatic music, no grand gestures. Just two people frozen in the realization that the past had suddenly become present. Arav, she asked, disbelief threading her voice. Mira. He replied, her name fitting his mouth like it always had. They smiled awkward, careful, afraid to break the moment. They talked about harmless things first. Work, travel, life, everything except the one question screaming between them. Why did we let go? They sat. Coffee was ordered. Memories hovered. And something old stirred awake. Reunions are romantic in stories because stories skip the difficult parts. Reality doesn't. Mira was no longer the girl who waited for love to choose her. She had built a life strong, independent, guarded. Arav, too, had learned how to survive without leaning on anyone. They weren't broken, but they weren't untouched either. I thought of you, Mira admitted softly, her eyes fixed on her cup. More times than I'd like to admit. So did I, Arav said, especially when things went wrong. They laughed not because it was funny, but because pain shared becomes lighter. They spoke of old dreams that never happened, of relationships that almost worked, of the quiet loneliness that followed them into crowded rooms. Each confession peeled back a layer they had carefully built around their hearts. The past was no longer a place of comfort, it was a mirror. And mirrors don't lie. The next few days became a fragile routine. Walks through familiar streets, late-night conversations, silence that felt safe instead of awkward. They learned each other again, not as lovers, but as people shaped by loss and resilience. Still, fear lingered. What if we try again and fail? Mira asked one night as they sat by the river. What if we don't try and regret it forever? Arav replied, love the first time had been passionate, reckless, pure. Love now was cautious, intentional, terrifying, because they knew what heartbreak could do. Mira had learned to protect herself. Arav had learned to run when things felt uncertain. Their old patterns threatened to return, whispering warnings disguised as wisdom. Second chances aren't given freely. They demand courage. The turning point came unexpectedly. Arav received an offer to move abroad, a promotion he had worked years for. It was everything his younger self dreamed of, everything except the timing. He told Mira the next morning, "I won't ask you to wait," he said. "I know what waiting costs." She nodded, swallowing emotions she refused to beg with. "I won't ask you to stay." They stood there, two people who loved each other too much to chain one another. That night, Mira realized something painful and freeing. Independence had taught her strength, but love taught her truth. And the truth was simple. Some connections don't return to remind you of the past. They return to test who you've become. She went to Arav's hotel before sunrise. "This time," she said, her voice steady, "I don't want promises. I want honesty. If we choose each other, we choose fully even if it's hard." Arav looked at her not with nostalgia, but clarity. "I don't want a future without you in it," he said. "Not again." They didn't rush. They planned, compromised, adjusted expectations. Mira agreed to explore new opportunities. Arav delayed his move. They chose partnership over fantasy. Love, they realized, wasn't about recreating what once was. It was about building something stronger with what remained. They carried scars into this new beginning, but scars meant survival. They communicated more, listened deeper, loved intentionally. This time, love wasn't loud. It was steady. Years later, they would tell their story without regret. How love didn't fail the first time life simply interrupted. How finding love again wasn't about fate correcting itself, but about two people brave enough to choose each other twice. Because sometimes, love doesn't return to repeat the past. It returns to reshape the future. And second chances, they're not miracles. They're decisions. Thanks for watching. If this story touched you, don't forget to like and subscribe.